My name is Celia Garcia and I'm 32. I lived in Mecca for 31 years. Growing up in Mecca was a really nice experience. Now as an adult, I realize that it's not a typical experience. Because of this community, I am the person that I am. The facility itself was there for many years, and I think a lot of us were aware of it. But it wasn't until like maybe 2009 that I noticed the mounds that were getting there, growing bigger. And then the odors of like human waste that we started noticing, especially in late night and then early morning. It was quickly known to us that because it was on Indian land, that there was really not much that could be done, or I think people were kind of hesitant to do much. But it wasn't until 2010 that we were talking to Western Environmental as a community council directly, and we were trying to discuss ways in which we could mitigate the odors directly with them. And because at this point it was just overwhelming. It was an overwhelming odor, and to the point where the community was we were just done. We were done with the fact that it was to the point where you could not open your windows, you couldn't barbecue outside anymore. It was like opening up your like window and smelling like a septic tank. It was just disgusting. The odors changed after a couple of months. These odors, these particular like human waste odors, they were just really disgusting, and they were offensive, and it was just gross, straight up gross. The odors that made us sick didn't come until until December. And that was just a whole different experience. I can tell you, when we experienced that for hours on end, you couldn't think. There was times where my heart was racing, and I couldn't concentrate. Kids were vomiting. Your body was being exposed to something that clearly wasn't supposed to be. In January, in which all of the students at San Martinez had to be evacuated, I was faced with really daunting reality, which was, what do I do once we get home? Because once I get home, I'm going to be faced with the exact same odor. I only lived 2 blocks away. So whether I'm at school or whether I'm at home, I'm going to be dealing with the exact same problem. And that was just a very scary, scary thought for me. And so when we did get home, I talked to the boys, and CJ, my oldest one, he commented that day, and I'll never forget it. He told me that he felt scared. He never thought he would feel scared to go to school or to be at school. And for me, that was heartbreaking. I felt like I couldn't do anything for my kids as a parent that day. And it was the worst feeling ever. And that day, it became so personal. And since that day, I knew there was no way that I would ever feel that way again. And I know that this community is worth all the fight and all the attention and all of the hard work that's being put into it. So I'm hopeful, and I'm hoping, and I know it won't take 10, 15 years. I'm hopeful it won't. But in the meantime, we're here. And we'll continue to be here.